Hey there, hi there, ho there, and hello there. Welcome back to another exciting edition of the Cardinal Couple Radio Hour podcast, where we discuss the joy and excitement of view of women's athletics. And there was certainly a lot of that over the last couple of days, as all three of the fall sports that we cover fairly closely were all victorious. And we'll get into all those recaps and situations as the show goes on. But we have a crew of three today. Jared is out. I would imagine he's probably sitting down to the pregame football meal right now over at Cardinal Stadium as the photographers try to get out there like 4 hours early. And I don't really understand why, but they do. It's a thing that they do. So off they go to watch the Cards take on EKU today. Hopefully they'll win this one. I would think it wouldn't be much of a problem.
Well, when your name is Jared Anderson, you have to make your rounds. You can't just show up at the last second and just go and do your job. You have other jobs, such as saying hello to 900 people and taking 900 selfies and then sending them all. That's a lot of work.
Look,
And that is basically true.
look, I got a business development role at work. Like, there's an aspect of that to my job, and Jared's hustling all the time. He's doing personal business development. You don't get the relationships that he has with all of the dance team and the cheerleaders and doing all kinds of individual photo shoots for them by not engaging with them and being there plenty early and getting it done. So I mean, kudos to him. Makes it happen. And I think a lot of the other photographers like to get there early because some of the best shots you can get are in pregame warm-ups.
Yeah,
And you got to get your parking situation and beat the
Of
crowds.
individual players, I should say.
I know that it's a little
There's a
more
lot of things that need to be done
extreme.
pregame.
Yeah, you got to make sure that you get around and. I had somebody describe Jared once as this big, dumb golden retriever who runs up to people to be petted and then runs off and goes to the next person. I don't know if that's exactly fair or not, but it's a pretty accurate description of what he does. I mean, he likes to be seen, so he's out there being seen right now. And have fun with it, Jared. He covers all sports, not just women's sports. So. But we cover sports, and I got two in here today with me who cover sports a lot, Case Hoskins and Daryl Faust. So let's go ahead and start with the introductions. Case, what you been up to this week?
It's been a busy week. But fortunately, got to not drive to Lexington for the 6th time in 3 weeks for work on Thursday. But I did still have 6 travel days in the past 3 weeks. It's been fun, putting in all kinds of miles. Eventually, I need to file an expense report, which will be quite nice when I backdate expenses from June.
Oh, jeez.
That'll be
Wow.
that'll be nice. Just some hotels, a lot of miles. I don't even know. It's a bunch of miles. Which it's 70 something cents a mile. I don't hate them. I do hate not being able to get really any work done. A lot of people are like, yeah, when you travel, you can do all kinds of work. It's like, look, we live in Louisville, Kentucky. We do work in, I do work in mostly Kentucky and, surrounding areas where it's not reasonable to fly. It doesn't make sense for me to fly to Nashville. It doesn't make sense for me to fly to Memphis. Haven't had to drive to those in a while, but I did have to drive to Beckley not that long ago. And it doesn't make sense to fly there. But you know what you can't do when you're traveling alone by car is any work, because all you can do is drive. So, yeah, it's been a good time. But yeah, did golf a personal best yesterday. Took the afternoon off and got Labor Day weekend started. So
I do understand the road warrior concept. When I was in the coffee business many moons ago, I had a territory that covered basically the western half of Kentucky and also down into areas such as southern Indiana, parts of Illinois, and a little bit of Tennessee and such. And so Uh, I traveled a lot in my coffee van throughout our land, and the funniest aspect of it all for me was not the customers, not what I saw on the road and stuff like that, but occasionally I would get pulled over doing my fine speed limit, not driving crazy or anything, and it would be DE agents. DEA agents wanted to check my van. This happened to me like 3 or 4 times when I worked for Wallingford.
Look, you're moving a lot of powder from Colombia.
And I would just laugh at them.
It's brown. It's not
And
white, but
I'd say, help yourself, guys. Don't touch the Colombian because it's expensive. Help yourself to our special blend. And they would look at me and kind of quizzically scratch their heads. And it's a coffee joke. In fact, one guy even made me stand out of the vehicle so he could search underneath my seats and everything else. And I said, if you open the boxes, though, I got one rule. You need to leave me a note saying that you open these boxes. Otherwise, the company charges me for an open box. He says, oh, well, I don't know if I could. I'm like, well, fine. Then I'm going to get charged for this, and I'm going to be really unhappy with you. Well, we got to do what we got to do. Anyway, many moons ago. But yeah, nothing like being pulled over when you're coming back after a long day of delivering coffee in 20 different cities and then hearing the blue lights hit you and your driver's and registration. Uh, yeah, I got both. Jesus. But Daryl, what's going on in your world?
Oh, well, just starting the semester off, but as a sports Swifty, it's been a big week for me. Um, Brain only being consumed by one giant piece of news this week. I'm sure you know what I'm talking about because who doesn't? Um, so yeah, that's literally all I've thought about this week. It's a great time to be alive.
I won't disagree with that. It is a good time to be alive in many aspects. And
there's one thing that makes up for being alive during all the other catastrophic news going on in the world. The one thing that makes up for it is being alive the same time as Taylor Swift.
if you say
yeah,
so.
So if anyone actually lives under a rock and doesn't know what I'm talking about, my favorite pop star, best friend, singer, is engaged to my favorite NFL player. So this is like my worlds colliding better than I ever dreamed. And we got to see them watch a football game together on Thursday. So my brain has just been mush this week, guys. But big smile on my face the whole time. Cards Floyd Street's been popping with matches the last 2 days. If U of L fans had a chance to get over to that yesterday, it was a really good day. But also, if you were working on campus on Thursday, you had a chance to pop over to another midday game with the soccer team. So just crazy to think. Just a few weeks ago, we didn't have that much to talk about, and here we are with a plethora of matches to recap.
plethora, a great term. Yeah, for the long dry stretch of the summer, we had our hands open asking for handouts, and now our hands are overflowing with
Feed
scores.
us.
Yes, results and stories and sidelines and everything else. So it's a good situation to be in. As for myself, just another week, kind of doing what I do. I had a little bit of a complication going on with that dreaded demigod who controls all our lives, insurance, and basically have been having an argument with Medicare and my insurance company on why didn't they pick this up? Because basically, well, anyway, it'll get straightened out eventually. I know that for sure. And another thing, and I'm just going to make a small political commentary here. Some drugs out there are so expensive. I don't know how anybody affords them. And if you've
Right,
ever,
right there with you, Paul. I think all of it is a a huge scam, and I had a doctor tell me I needed a med, and the insurance wanted to argue it, and it's like, what are we doing here?
Yeah, it's ridiculous. And I went to go see this doctor who prescribed a med for me, and I talked to my local pharmacy, and I said, "How much is this med?" $600.
Oh my god.
And I'm like, "For how long?" Oh, it's a 30-day prescription. And I just said, "No, I can't afford it. I'm sorry. We'll just have to do something else." Then they mentioned, "Oh, well, there's an alternative you can take that's almost like it."
Hmm.
Then they mentioned that, and so I ended
But
up
even
with
still, they don't want to give it to you.
no. Well, you'll have to get your doctor's prescription for that. So.
You need a less quantity. You need this. You need the operand. Like, don't even get me started.
My favorite
Yeah,
is how much we have to pay for insurance, only for me to go to the pharmacy and then tell me what the price for my
Exactly.
prescription is, and then I say, what is it on the discount card instead of insurance, and they tell me it's less, and I say, let's do that.
What's the point of insurance? So they
Like,
can just deny me this
such
whole
a
entire
scam.
time. It's all a scam.
it really is, and I don't know. I mean, it gives you sometimes credence of moving to Canada, you know, because you're on a prescription plan up there. Everything is fine, and you can still cheer for U of L because of the internet. But then again,
It's a
but
little
we
colder.
digress. We digress into drugs. Uh, but we did have some things non-drug related happen on the UFL campus over the last couple of days, and I guess we might as well start with what did take place yesterday. Two of our squads had openers, and let's go ahead and start it up with volleyball as the Cards brought Auburn into town. A good foe for Louisville, obviously, in many sports, but certainly a team that we've battled for and battled with in the past. And it was also the start of the Don Mesky era. So Don Mesky got his era started. Okay, so what about this one?
Yeah, Dan did a great job, I think. This match didn't turn out potentially how a lot of people thought it might. Um, we've gotten very used to Louisville domination early in the season. Don't know that anybody thought Auburn was going to be a particularly huge challenge. Um, at the end of the day, Louisville gets away with a sweep. All three sets, a 25-21 score. Their biggest bugaboo was something that Jared mentioned to us during exhibition play. That being that Louisville's point of attack is pretty low. That could present some problems moving forward. It had its challenges yesterday. Louisville was outblocked, which is not something we have said very frequently at all in recent years about Louisville volleyball.
Mm.
But they were outblocked by Auburn 11-6. Louisville didn't have any solo blocks, which was a little weird. But yeah, just very low attack. The hitting yesterday was not something that anyone would be jumping out of their seats for. Auburn hit 084, Louisville hit 162. Just not great. The Cards, I think, did very well defensively. When Auburn was hitting around the block, Louisville was definitely there. On the back end, the Cards had 70 digs. It was very difficult for Auburn to get the ball down. Louisville did benefit from them being unable to get the ball down in play. Auburn had 22 errors, so with Louisville only having 6 blocks, Auburn was definitely shooting themselves in the foot a bit. And to Louisville's credit, while Auburn had 11 blocks, Louisville only had 23 total errors, so 12 unforced errors, which is definitely better than 16 unforced errors. Louisville had 5 aces, 5 service errors. They were +2 at the service line because Auburn just did not have a very impressive day. But the big thing, I think, is Calissa Blackshear is probably the truth at opposite hitter. The freshman had 11 kills, tied for team lead with the 2 players we would have expected to lead the team in Kara Cressy and Chloe Chicoen. We didn't see Molly Wilson at all at setter, which I thought was a little bit interesting. We did see Hannah Kinney and Camden Strand split time at libero, and I'm a little concerned that we may favor Cohen a little bit too much on offense. She had 42 attempts, and Blackshear had the next most with 22. So it's difficult to, if she's on, then going to Chloe Cohen 42 times is going to be a great idea. She had 11 kills and nine errors yesterday, so just well defended. And like I said, Auburn is not a team that we necessarily thought was going to be a major challenge. So if we get too trend happy there, one, it puts you in a very bad spot if something unfortunate were to happen to Chloe, but also it makes you very easy to scout if you're consistently just going to one player. So I think there's plenty for Dan Meskey to adjust as they move forward, but at the end of the day, you come away with Dan Meskey era opening win. It's a sweep over a Power 4 team. Yeah, I mean, you can nitpick all you want, but we're talking about the number 4 team in the country. But one match at a time, you just win them and you see what happens.
The Cards, of course, Daryl got a big effort out of the CCs, Kresge and Chloe. What else you got for me on this one?
Yeah, I was just gonna say. I mean, Case pretty much broke down all the stats, but like when you look at the box score, it just looks like Cards are back. Cards are doing what they do. They sweep these teams in the beginning of the season. Like we said, Auburn's not like was the toughest opponent, but it's nice to get that win without they didn't drop a set, which they've been used to in the last few years is getting these sweeps early on. Like I feel like it was usually the halfway through the season where they'd start to see the Kentuckys or the Pittsburghs and yada yada and get into those deeper sets, and it's just a good sign that you got your freshman taking a stand and having 11 kills and matching her more senior teammates. It's a great sign for this program and Coach Dan to just kind of not skip a beat and get this season started with a victory.
And it wasn't Auburn didn't exactly roll over and play dead for the Cards. As a matter of
Yeah,
fact,
they all went kind of deep, so it was long sets. So it wasn't easy. I think it was a good test.
and they actually held a 17-12 lead over Louisville in the second set. And at that point in time, I guess if you're a fan there, you're sitting on the sidelines recovering. It's like, it looks like we're going to go 4 sets tonight. But the Cards did come back and basically tied this thing at 20 and then went on to take a 24-20 lead. So definitely a lot that Meskey has to work with here, I think. And then obviously, they're going to take on Moorhead Sunday. That'll be a chance maybe to go very, very deep into the bench. And then playing St. John on Labor Day. So we're back into volleyball, gang. And it's when you take a look at this team, of course, obviously, let's take a look at who's gone. And I think first you look at Anna DeBeer not being a part of it anymore, although she was on the sidelines watching and was there for it. How does this team kind of reestablish their go-to number one main person like they had within the DeBeer era? What do you all think on that one?
I think Peyton Peterson did not have a great day offensively yesterday. She had 5 kills, 5 errors on 20 attempts, but she played full rotation and she led the team in digs. So as far as having that player that's going to replace Anna DeBeer outright, I don't know if we have it. Chloe Cohen is I think, more of a replacement for Charity Looper. Peyton Peterson, if she can bring that offense in relatively quickly, then I think that she's your, not next Anna DeBeer, but she's the one that's being asked to fill that role. And I think that, we've seen more out of her offensively than we saw yesterday. She got thrown straight into the fire in the semifinal and the final of the national championship last season and held her own as a freshman. So, it's a lot of pressure. I don't want to discount that. I'm sure that she feels it, even if people aren't pushing it on her. She knows the role that she's stepping into. She knows the player she's trying to replace. So I think that is going to be something to watch, kind of a small personal storyline to watch. And like I said, we have to be careful not to over-depend on Cohen offensively. We got a lot of kills from a lot of players yesterday, but certainly sent a lot of balls towards Chloe, which, I mean, that's going to happen, right? Your outside hitter is going to lead most of the time in attack attempts, but double the attack attempts of your next highest offensive player is certainly a lot.
Yeah, I was gonna say I'd rather see a group that works well together than have one person standing out most of the time. I think that I've previously in seasons before, I've always asked myself, oh my gosh, who's going to replace Claire Chaussee? Who's going to replace Anna DeBeer? And it keeps happening. So sometimes it's better maybe to have somebody that kind of sneaks their way into everyone's hearts than to have someone stand out and then that kind of create a little bit of a rift. I'm not saying it would for any particular player or would happen under Coach Dan. I just think that sometimes you have to have the right personalities that mesh together, and you have to have the right coach who can manage each personality, and everyone has to work together. And I'd rather see that than to have one player jump out on the stat sheet every single night and the team not get those wins, but we have that national player. Get the wins, make it a group effort. Everybody has fun. I'd rather it be that.
And certainly the Cards will have many, many more contests to go, including what I consider a pretty busy Labor Day weekend where they play this one. They do get tomorrow off, but then again, they're back at it again on Sunday, as we mentioned, against Moorhead. And then Monday, take on St. John's on Labor Day. So 3 games in 4 days this early in the season. Maybe Meskey's up to where he's kind of just alternating some people less and less because of the long stretch. And I expected to see a really big effort from Reese Robbins, and I could barely find her in the box score. So
yeah,
not sure.
I was a little surprised that Robbins and Alana Bankston both absent from the box score. So whether that was just rolling without a hand or if something happened during the week, we don't know. I expect, like we said, the bench is going to get, or the stat sheet is going to get a little bit longer with tomorrow's match. I'm not terribly concerned about the set scores in this one, like I mentioned, but if we see 21, 25, 3 straight sets against Moorhead State, then some alarm bells might start ringing.
It'll make you wonder. Yeah, I mean, is Moorhead State as good as Auburn? That'll bring that to mind as well. But
if Moorhead State is as good as Auburn and we can only beat both of those teams 25-21 straight sets, then I will be concerned about Louisville's prognostications.
I would be very surprised if Moorhead State could down the mighty, mighty War Eagle down there, but you never really know. So strange things can happen with the bounce of a volleyball. On campus, a little further up toward McDonald's. That's the way I like to claim it. The Cards were in action in field hockey. And Justine Sowery, of course, looking to find some answers and improv in some areas where they can kind of bounce back from last year's disappointing season in many aspects. Brought in a strong opponent in Michigan State, an opponent that the Cards have had a lot of games with and close games with over the years, gang. And Louisville made this one look fairly simple with a 6-1 win.
Yeah, they kind of just beat the tar out of them. We talked a lot in the run up to the season because boy was there not a lot of off season news this year. But we talked a lot about
Sometimes that's good.
yeah, that's true. It's true. In the early matchups, we talked a lot about these early teams, and Louisville and Michigan State were very similar last year. They had an identical record. They had an identical conference record. They had an identical record against common opponents. They're basically the same team. So for Louisville to come out and say, hey, by the way, we lost some players. You all probably did too. We've added some. But here's our returning leading scorer from last season dropping her first collegiate hat trick on your head in one quarter.
And that's after we had the lead.
After we lead 3-0 at halftime.
Yeah.
Have a good time. So as much as we were concerned about Louisville's offensive output, similar to soccer, concerns alleviated so far. And again, is Michigan State the best team in the Big Ten? Absolutely not. But it's still a Power 4 opponent, and it is a Power 4 opponent coming from the arguably best or second best conference in field hockey. And so you come in and you say, all right, we've got a lot of Big Ten teams on the schedule this season. How are we going to stack up against them? Well, we'll beat the first one on our schedule by half a dozen, or score half a dozen on them at least. And Emily Young is going to be stout in goal, will be more efficient at penalty corners, and walk away with a very big win. I mean, everything that we had talked about negatively about the team, it's hard to point back at those right now and say, yeah, still have those concerns. Obviously, it's one match, but it's a fantastic result for Justine Sowery to get this 2025 campaign started.
Yeah, I think any win over the Spartans is something to pat yourself on the back over. I don't care if they're D2 in some league. That's Michigan State. So, good win. And
yeah, take that, Izzo.
He feels the effects, I'm sure.
He knows. Yeah, he watched this. He's like, oh, crap. I'm glad we don't have to play them in basketball this year.
It all goes back to basketball.
All roads lead to KFC Yum Center.
I mean...
No, they don't, because most of them are closed because they're replacing the roof.
Well, that's right.
Which they chose that they had all the time in the world. Is fascinating to me. Games stopped being played there in mid-March. And they're like, you know when we'll replace the roof? 2 weeks before the first volleyball match at the Yum Center. That's a good time to replace. I'm like, what?
Oh, my God. Who's in charge here?
The arena authority. They're so great at what they do.
Yeah, Larry and Curly.
I was going to say, it looked like they were out there having fun. 6 goals is a great win. And like we said, to get a hat trick after you already won the game pretty much is still like they're doing everything they can. They didn't slow down. They didn't take their foot off the gas. So it's promising.
Jared was out there on scene and did a couple of post-game interviews. One, of course, with Justine Sowery, which he took for about 3 minutes. And Sowery does tend like to talk a little bit longer when she wins, and so that we definitely saw that. And then he also had about a minute and a half interview with Riley Wallerton, who I guess she was pretty excited to be on. I don't think we've ever interviewed her in the past, if I'm not mistaken. So he was able to take care of that and do that. But one thing that interested me in here, this one a little bit, we talk about CC and CC. Guess what? Field hockey has a CC too, in Chloe. So she picked up the first goal of the season.
Lots of CCs. That's crazy.
I was trying to remember the last time women's basketball had a CC.
Ooh.
And I can't recall one off the bat, but I'm sure.
All I think of is Caitlin Clark.
Ooh.
Yeah, that's unfortunately
That ain't us.
Yeah, that's a few decades away. No, it's a few miles away from us. But nevertheless, a very good basketball player.
Wait. Hold on. Oh my gosh, Chelsea. Oh my God, I'm blanking. In basketball a few years ago. No. I'm wrong. I'm mixing up people. Go on.
Putting Chelsea, I don't remember her last name either, but you
I
like
got her
mixing
face
her up with
on her
Jaden Curry?
staff.
Jada Curry?
Maybe. Chelsea. Oh my gosh, you guys, she's on our staff.
You'll come up with it. But Chloe Kazepi, a senior, scored his first goal of the season for Louisville. Already has half of her goal production from last year. She picked up 2 as a junior. Wollerton also, we talk about scoring 6 goals in this first game. Louisville scored 31 goals total last year. Wollerton led the team. She had 7. So, she's already halfway to her mark from last year. Kazepi had 2, Masters had 1, and 3, and she scored yesterday. Who else scored yesterday? I can't find the.
I just had it up, and then I started
I'm the one that wrote
going
that.
on my basketball rant.
Either way, Louisville's offense it's here. It seems like. Like I mentioned, fairly efficient on corners. You'd like to see that number over 50%, but they converted on 2 out of 3 or 2 out of 5. So that's off to a good start. And yeah, it was just a very good showing and a great result to get things started. Bring in the Bobcats on Sunday as well, and hopefully can get another big win to keep the momentum rolling, because there's not a big runway to get started in the season before Louisville's going to start facing some really challenging opponents, and the more confidence they can build as a team and as individuals going into those matches, the better.
I got it, guys. It's Chrysalin Carr.
That's right.
That was her first.
Transferred in from Syracuse. Am I right?
That was not long. That wasn't long ago. 2022, 2023. Whew. But I still don't know Chelsea's last name, so I'm still not. Sorry. All right, back to Philadelphia.
But nevertheless, a good pickup, Daryl.
Chelsea Hall. That's not
Hall.
a CC.
Yeah.
Wow. I could see the word Hall, but it just was not coming to my mouth.
A very, very nice pickup.
All right. We can move on now from the CC conversation.
Moving from CCs to, I guess...
There's 2 C's in soccer. They're back-to-back.
Yeah.
That would be the sisters?
No, I meant literally in the word.
Oh, jeez. Wow. You went right over both of our heads.
Yeah, whoosh. What was that went by my eyes? I didn't catch it.
Oh, man.
I think we're all a little loopy this morning, guys.
To quote Bo Burnham, segues are weird.
Great. Love it. My favorite. Oh.
So a successful Saturday indeed for the Cards. Some very nice wins. Going back to Friday, where women's soccer, a sport that Case likes to follow a lot, was out at the Lynn Stadium on campus and brought in, and I like the SCU reference. I don't necessarily think of South Carolina upstate as or is it upstate South Carolina? Which way do they pronounce
USC that? Upstate.
Yeah. We had SCU in the article, which made me scratch my head at first. Go, who is SCU? Southern?
No, that's what Stat Broadcast had, so I felt comfortable moving forward.
Really? So Stat Broadcast doesn't agree with the dual USC nomenclature, I guess.
It's the entire Stat Broadcast, play-by-play on Stat Broadcast. Oh my God, Broadcast. I keep saying Quest. I am loopy. SCU.
Man, hey, this is some real. I think the Gamecocks are going to need to take it up with Stat Broadcast. That's some real offense that they're throwing their way. Some real.
Wait,
shade.
I thought they were the Spartans.
They are. I'm saying the USC, like South Carolina.
Okay.
Where they like to say that they are USC. You got USC
the
East, USC the West. But apparently Stat Broadcast does not agree.
Stat Broadcast has known to be wrong. I'm not gonna lie.
Just don't get Don Staley upset. That's all.
I've seen them put us as UL. They have L.
Oh yeah.
But I've seen UL.
UL Lafayette. Heck yeah.
Yeah.
And it's supposed to be worldwide known that we are U of L.
Yeah.
I've also seen UK referred to as you okay.
You okay? You okay?
You okay? Yeah, I'm okay. You okay?
You okay?
Yeah, I'm okay.
I always do think it's funny when they abbreviate that to 3 letters and it's you okay. I'm like, what? It's one extra letter, and F is not a large letter. It doesn't take up a whole lot of space.
If you CK, remember that.
Yeah.
That's and anyway, a 9-0 win over the school from upstate South Carolina. And is there a town? And probably saw this earlier and missed it.
They are
A
from
town
Spartanburg,
Spartanburg. Okay,
hence
yes.
the Spartans. And
I have traveled through Spartanburg several times.
I am aware of I would call it a town. I am aware of the town of Spartanburg. Did not realize that they were large enough to have 2 colleges. Because,
Oh wow.
as I mentioned in the article on Thursday, USC Upstate started their season in Spartanburg, did not play at home, because that is also where Wofford College is.
That's right, the Wofford
I did read
Waffles.
that.
That's right.
So,
And,
yeah, very odd.
which
That
used
was
to be
a good preview case. I enjoyed that one.
yeah, indeed. A standing joke that we used to have was the Wofford Waffles. And they had this big waffle dripping syrup out on there as a mascot.
Tiny,
So,
the tiny little terrier. That is
the tiny,
I think
wee dog.
they have the least menacing dog mascot possible.
Yeah, I was supposed to say I only picture or think of dogs like Woff Woff.
Yeah. Like even Salukis, which are not, they're not terrifying.
What is a Saluki anyway?
It's similar to a greyhound. They're long, they're lean, but they're the ones that have the really long hair. So it's kind of like if you mixed a border collie with a greyhound, border collie with a greyhound. It's kind of like a Saluki.
Sounds like a fancy dog.
They're
It
pretty.
does indeed.
But there is a school, and right now it's escaping me. But there is a school who that is their mascot.
Is it? That's not St. Louis, is it?
No, they're the Billikens.
Billikens. Oh my gosh, I know the Saluskis. I've heard of it.
Saluki
The
mascot.
Pelican mascot.
Southern Illinois.
Mascot.
There you go.
SIU. That's right.
There you go, SIU. Yeah, that seems like one of our softball opponents in my mind.
Saluki is an Egyptian-bred dog, the oldest.
Told
of
you,
all,
fancy dog.
Oldest of all domesticated dogs. So they're basically next door to cats, is what you're telling me.
Yeah, because we all know the dog evolved out of the cat, right, Case? Yeah. They came to visit the Cards and probably couldn't wait to get back to the airport. Louisville took a 9-0. And I don't want to be disparaging or anything, but they thrashed this team. There was no doubt about it. And
That's wild.
I mean, we just barely scored before the halftime break to make it 2-0. So you got to kind of wonder what Justine Zary had to say at halftime to this team, and I mean, you tell me.
Karen was.
I would.
Sorry,
I bet she was
not
like
Justine Zary. I mean, Karen Ferguson days. I'm sorry, I completely blew that. What did she do to get them to say, okay, we need 7 more goals to make this a good effort?
I don't think she said we need 7 more goals. I think she was like, listen, they changed their goalkeepers for some reason. Let's just welcome her to a new season. And they had a record, and all the research that I could find, it's like it is a program record. They're just putting it online as a Lynn Stadium record. I don't see where any more than 9 or 8 goals has ever been scored by a U of L squad. So I'm just going to say it was a record game. And I honestly can't believe it, considering they had a 2-0 lead going into halftime. How the heck you threw up 7 more is beyond.
She was as angry as I have seen her after a win, to be sure, on Thursday when they won 7-2. 7-1.
Sunday.
7-2, yeah.
Yeah, 7-2. She didn't even remember how many goals Louisville had scored. She called it 6. Like, she was very frustrated, and I mean reasonably, because Louisville scored a bunch of goals in the first 30 minutes, and then they just kind of gave up. It was 1-1 in the second half. And so coming out of that, and how sluggish they were in the second portion of Sunday's game against Wright State, I would imagine she was pretty lit up at halftime when you only lead this USC Upstate team 2-0. It got through to people. Like we said, tag on 7 goals in the second half. The defense was everything that they wanted it to be. Following the less than stellar effort that they got Sunday on defense. They gave up 2 shots total, none on goal.
That's bizarre. How do you only get 2 shots? How bored was Aaron Floyd? Was the other side of the field even open, or was it cut off with like barriers?
Road construction signs.
Yeah, do not enter.
Please detour around the Lynn Stadium
Please
bleachers.
go back to your bus and go home.
Back to the bleachers.
Trying to figure out if Karen was just trying to give Aaron Floyd, more improve her goals against per minute stat, or if she was just like showing mercy to the other goalkeepers by not making them stand out there in the sun for nothing. Why did Aaron Floyd play all 90 minutes?
Yeah, that was kind of a weird stat because I figured, we must have gone 3 deep in goalkeeper. No.
Aaron Floyd just hanging out.
Karen wanted to give her the same courtesy that the Spartans did on their recap of this match, where their highlights from it was recapping how many minutes each player had. They said career high in minutes, 31. Like, it was just like, it's sad. They did say that, we got the first possession, and that was it. That was the end of their highlights.
I am not proud of it, but I have dozed off during a game in goal. You lean up against the post, you're really bored. This was in Redwood. You lean up against the post. It's 8:00 in the morning. You're tired. I think Aaron Floyd could have just like gone and taken a nap in the boiling point.
Lay down back
there.
She
could just leave the goal, just like hang out. I mean, there was nothing.
Well, Thomas did ask me. He said, "Can their goalkeeper leave the?" Wait, no, I'm saying that wrong. Because she wouldn't leave because she was busy.
Aaron could have gone and tried to score a goal for sure.
Yeah, that's what it is. Yeah, like, could she go down there and be a 10th man?
Heck yeah, she could go. Yeah.
If she wanted to.
You see it a lot late in games. Like on a late
hockey,
corner,
right?
like on a late corner kick attempt.
Okay.
You'll see the opposing, you'll see the corner kick taking goalkeeper, because they're usually tall, so they and can jump, hence being a goalkeeper, which makes them a threat on corner kicks. So you'll see them, potentially make their way down there if there's not going to be enough time to
get back down.
Yeah, and you really need a goal.
Gotcha. That's cool. I definitely seen it in hockey, so I wasn't sure.
It would be a little unfair if they could still reach up and punch it to try and get it in the goal. But
that would be kind of rough, wouldn't it? Yeah.
That's reserved for Diego Maradona. Only he can score goals with his hands.
With the win, Louisville women's soccer goes to 3-1, and lone loss coming against Vandy in the second game of the year. The Cards will now move on and actually take on a very good. Wait a second, I'm wrong on that. They're 4-1, aren't they?
They are.
I did not fill in my USC Upstate score yet. They are 4-1. Excuse the error, and now move on to the 31st to take on yet again another CC. Oh my gosh, Coastal Carolina comes to town, and I'm sure that they'll bring in Chloe. And no, they won't.
You're ready for some more wordplay.
Indeed.
There are also 2 C's in Chanticleers, but they are not next to each other.
And that was the big question. They actually had a ACC tournament down there for women's basketball years ago. That's when Greensboro, for some reason, decided we're not going to have it here, and basically threw all the ACC out on their nose. So moved the tournament down to there and actually played it down there. No, it wasn't. It was about 20 miles from Myrtle Beach, and a lot of the teams stayed there. But no, they actually played on the Chanticleer's campus, which is a nice little campus. Kind of reminds you driving to it, like going to JCC in the Southwest. campus out there. It's just off this major road, and there's a road and a sign that points toward the campus, and you turn down that road, and then you start seeing campus buildings, including a basketball arena, which uh, seats of maybe 6,000, if that. Their media room is basically a converted closet. So I,
Is it also teal like the football field?
no, no, no.
Oh,
The arena is not teal.
very sad.
But I was actually when we were down there, and I was on down there on a Saturday, and I could not get any reception on my cell phone down in the arena to get on board with the Saturday morning broadcast. So I asked the one guy running around acting like he knew everything, "Can you guys get me a landline so like I can call into the studio where I broadcast out of and be on the broadcast?" And back then we were still on studio broadcast out of WCHQ.
Yeah.
And the guy was like, "You want a telephone?"
You want a telephone?
I'm
I
like,
bet he sounded just like that too.
"Yeah." And I'm like, I know that, probably no one here uses them anymore. But if I could get a landline out of here so I could make a phone call, he said, "Well, I have to see what I can do." And he walked off. And I'm like, "Oh, well, there goes my chances." But he came back like about 10 minutes later with "You'll love this rotary dial telephone."
Amazing.
Not a button push, but a rotary dial. And I'm like, that is how I joined the Cardinal Couple broadcast that day, on a rotary dial phone. Love you, CC.
You got to write that down for the archives.
It was such an, because a lot of people did stay actually in Myrtle Beach. The teams did. It was only about a 20-minute drive over to Conway.
Well, I also
from
assume
there.
that the hotel accommodations in Conway are not significant.
Well, there were two.
Yeah.
One of them was, I think, Bob's Motel or something like that. One of those little mom and pop deals. So, in my infinite wisdom, I decided, I'll stay at the Red Roof Inn. It's in town. The Red Roof Inn parking lot down there has to be the drug capital of that part of South Carolina. I pulled up late night after a game. I think it was the Friday night game. Pulled into the parking lot, parked in front of my hotel room, and I had at least 3 people come up and asked if they could sell me whatever I wanted.
You looking to buy?
Yeah, it was like Coke, smoke, crack. I'm like, hey, have you got any good diet root beer? And then one lady came up, and you could tell that she'd been trying all 3. Said, $20 want to go?
Jeez.
I'm like, well, no, thank you. I'm studying for the priesthood. I don't think that I should ruin my virginity with a crack whore like you. Excuse me, but no. But anyway, enough on that stuff. So anyway, my trip to Conway. Will I go back again? Only by gunpoint. We're taking you to Conway for 3 days, and you'll like it. No, I won't.
I will not. I disagree with that statement.
Shoot me now. But, yeah. So anyway, enough on that. I'm certainly. There's a lot of fine, upstanding people who attend that campus and do great things there. So we'll not belittle them anymore. But yeah, okay. So good start out in the openers for the Cards here. We take a look on what is on the ropes here next for them, so to speak, is the Cards. As we mentioned, going to play Coastal Carolina at Lynn Stadium. What do we know about the CC squad so far? Has anybody got any?
It's a good question. I feel as unprepared for this question as Karen Ferguson Days was for the question about USC Upstate on Sunday. I asked her what we could expect from the match. She said, "I don't know. We haven't had time to." I was like, "Great, awesome, thank you."
Yeah, and I had known nothing about them, and I've got the right up.
I didn't think that you could get mad at me with these softball questions I'm going to toss you after this 7-2 win, and yet, yeah,
I'm afraid I totally understand that, because like when you're focusing on the opponent right in front of you, and it'd be a little complicated. You might like mix up things that you learned about two opponents down the road. So I'm afraid I'm with her on that.
It's bunny season.
One day at a time.
It's bunny season. You can
Hey,
scout as
they're
many
looking
teams.
ahead to the bigger picture of things, and it's one game at a time.
These
And
teams have only
every
played-
day they're going to learn something new to take to that next match.
You could watch every team that all of the opponents have played to this point in one day.
And you have
There's
people
no
that do that
film.
for you. You don't even have to do
There's
it.
no film.
I'll tell you what, I did learn from Case reading his preview for soccer was that it's a new opponent for us. So that's one thing I learned.
It is. And another fun stat. We talked about field hockey's offensive output in their match. Louisville women's soccer has matched the 2024 offensive output already. 5 games in, we have scored 25 goals. We scored 25 goals in 20 games last year. Cool.
I feel that. I honestly can see that. It's felt like a large volume of scoring. Like the fireworks are put on hold over there because they don't want to run out.
Jared mentioned on Sunday that the marketing team actually had to make a decision to say we are not doing the smoke,
No more smoke
more than 4 goals into a game.
We're affecting the atmosphere.
Well, they've
The
used
climate
like all of the marketing budget. They're like we bought out. What is the place that always has the big fireworks out? They bought them out. They bought them out of smoke
They were
bombs already.
talking about air quality alerts around the campus.
Not used to air quality alerts in late August.
Yeah, especially on one street. But there they are.
All right, the Shants, as they are often referred to,
Which is a bird, right?
a Chanticleer is a type of rooster.
Rooster?
It is a rooster. That
It is
is
a rooster.
correct.
Why wouldn't it be a water bird?
Their bird also has teeth, so shout out birds with teeth.
Is it a French bird, though?
The superior birds.
I'm not sure if it's a French bird. I would probably take a shot in a fight over a cardinal, though, like a physical fight.
Definitely.
Have you ever seen a cardinal, though?
Look, they're
when
soft.
it's-
They're just little. They're little fluff balls. They
Actually,
would
I
lose
have
to
seen
most
blue jays.
birds. They would especially lose to like a bird that I'm pretty sure is bred for cockfighting. Like
True. Let's not talk about it anymore.
But I don't think that the women's soccer version of the Chanticleers is gonna give Louisville a whole lot of a headache. They are 1-2 so far on the season. Their first match of the season against Kennesaw State was canceled. I'm not sure why. But so they didn't play that match. They opened the season on the road. As a result, they opened the season on the road against Richmond with a 1-0 victory, and since have played 2 home matches, a 2-1 loss against UNC Wilmington and a 1-0 loss against Belmont. Louisville just, for the first time ever, scored 7 goals in a row in 3 games. Potentially on track to do it for the first time ever in 4 straight games. Chanticleers went 8-7-6 last season. 3-3-4 in what conference are they in? The Sun Belt, which is not very good. It's not a super difficult league. They lost 4-0 in the Sun Belt Championship semifinals to Texas State last year. So, yeah, this should not be a significant challenge for Louisville. I would expect them to roll once more defensively after the performance against Wright State. I think that that group of seniors will be looking for another strong performance. Absolutely be looking for another clean sheet. Probably will be looking for another no shots on goal effort. Whether they'll get that, I don't know. Aaron Floyd's probably like, can they have one? I'd like to record a save. But yeah, this should be pretty straightforward for the Cards. It's a 7:30 start. I had 7 on my calendar, but 7:30 start.
I found out why their match was canceled. This is strange. It says in the second time in a row, Kennesaw State's season opener has been canceled following poor field conditions being the reason.
In Conway.
Is that where it was?
That's where it was supposed to be.
Maybe there's no drainage. Maybe there was rain. But Coastal didn't mention why it was canceled, so I had to go to Kennesaw to figure it out.
They're probably embarrassed. Kennesaw actually, or Coastal's exhibition opener last season was canceled in Conway as well. So yeah.
So
go play on the teal turf. Yeah, that feels fine.
It's two of them were canceled though. Coastal Carolina and Citadel.
Oh, weird.
So one was in Conway, South Carolina, and one was in Charleston, South Carolina, right after the other.
Oh,
guess they
was
got
that
a bunch of rain down
didn't
there,
that hurricane come through?
I didn't think it made land, but
Oh, it hadn't. Yeah, I don't know. Weird. Let's say
still
weird.
throw a lot of water on you though, even though it doesn't make land. But
yeah, maybe. Anyways,
I guess kind of final thing we want to mention today before we end the broadcast is congratulations to the 2025 Hall of Fame inductees for the women's side of athletics, as 5 of the 10 introduced to the Hall of Fame were women's sports former greats. And a shout out to Lola Larson back over from volleyball, CB Candace Bingham from women's basketball, Nikki Bolcher from lacrosse, Christine Esseter from women's soccer, and Alyssa Volmy from field hockey. Congratulations to those 5. Been certainly fortunate enough to see all 5 play. This actual induction will be held coming up in November. I lost the date now.
I'm pulling
November
it up now,
14th.
but I was going to say
November 14th.
My text didn't go through to you guys. Is this the best Hall of Fame class ever?
Boy, it's certainly up there, isn't it? I mean, I know there was
quite the group.
The one that Angel was in was pretty spectacular years ago, but look what Lola did for volleyball, and CB was, of course, ran tandem with Angel, as they called them, Mom and the Crazy Aunt, with Candace being the mom and Angel being the crazy aunt. Nikki Bolcher, guys, what she did for lacrosse, unbelievable, and having to play for the coach she did too, even more incredible.
Oh, and that's just on the women's side.
Yeah.
And you add in the men, which includes everybody's favorite backcourt pairing.
Yes, the best of all.
Russ Smith and Peyton Siba. And then my guy, whose bobblehead is on my desk, Adam Duvall.
Adam Duvall or Stefan?
Adam Duvall.
I was going to say Joao De Luca is also a big name. I was a big fan of him.
Yeah, I mean, Stefan Lefors and Joao De Luca also. I mean, it's like you said, it's a fantastic class. But Adam Duvall was Mr. Butler the year that my sister was Miss Butler.
Aww.
So always had a soft spot there. When he was with the Reds, it was nice because the Reds played an exhibition game against the Bats.
Yep.
And he was there, and so my sister got to introduce her son to Adam, and he introduced us to Joey, which was awesome.
Sweet.
So yeah, that was it was fun.
Fun fact: Joey Votto actually asked me if I wanted to get a picture with him.
Wow.
Whoa. Row.
Yeah, we went to the Bats game at the same time. We were walking in together, and I'm shaking. And I always keep a Sharpie on me. My mom taught me, always keep a Sharpie on you. You never know who you're going to run into. And I had the Bats roster with his name on it, luckily on me. I was like, can I please get an autograph? Actually, the first thing I said was, I guess this is when cool people get to work.
He actually really probably appreciated that joke, didn't he?
Yeah, but I'm blacked out. I was shaking, and it's a terrible picture of me, and great times.
Seems like exactly the type of joke he would make. I did see somebody at Kroger the other day. They had a shirt and it said, "I keep my jokes in a database."
Oh my God! I was gonna say, are you even a father with as many dad jokes as you've given us today?
No, I'm the dad joke of.
Are you
I'm
a
the
secret
father of my.
father?
No, I'm the father of my friend group. He was actually like a grandpa. Well, Lindsay and I are the olds of our friend group.
That's funny. We have a group chat with my friends, and there's one person in there that's a dad, and I call him Daddy Dennis. And I know, not creepy at all, but he's literally the dad of our group. Anyways,
Reminds me of years ago when one of the favorite T-shirts I've ever seen walking toward me was "See Other Side." So naturally, when the person passed me, I turned around to look, and guess what was on the back? "See Other Side."
Nice.
So, and anyway,
Jesus,
yeah. But
somebody had to come up with that shirt. That's where my mind goes.
yeah, that's the whole idea. Who had the ingenuity to think of that and put it on a T-shirt and probably make a ton of money on it just for 3 words.
Probably.
I've seen one that said, "I was stupid, but the arrow just pointed up."
Yeah, I like that one too. But yeah, a fun show today we've had, and we'll go ahead and move on into our final thoughts of the broadcast. Case, go ahead and start us out today.
My final thought is that this was the loopiest summer slump feeling episode of a Cardinal Couple Radio Hour that includes actual coverage of
Even though we had so much to talk about.
yeah, of regular season games. That's my final thought. That's all I can think about with how this episode went.
I think we're all like super just excited for football starting today. It's a holiday weekend. We're just feeling the back end of the summer coming to a wrap. So we're just getting ready for fall.
It's probably what it is. We usually take holiday weekends off, so this is what it's like if we don't.
Oh,
apparently.
you're right.
That's true. We're all playing without a full deck today. Of course, I've been that way for years, so it's not a problem. Daryl, your final thoughts.
Oh, I mean, kind of the same thing. I've just been giggling all morning, and I told you my mind is occupied with nothing but Swifty sports stuff. So I won't bore you all anymore. I will try to come up with something better to think about for next week and close the show, but not likely. I'm probably never going to get over this. So
We'll have to ask you what's your favorite Taylor Swift song.
Oh, it's the sad one, All Too Well, 10-minute version, best song ever written. I like all sad music, and that is a masterpiece.
There you go. We'll have to make that our new theme song. No.
No, you don't want to. We'll all be crying.
Can't afford the rights for that.
That's probably
$50,000 I heard for a Taylor Swift song in the summer show everybody's watching. $50,000, and they use like multiple Taylor songs.
Eesh. Holy cow. The final thoughts out of this guy. Looking forward to the actual Hall of Fame banquet. Yeah, $75 is a lot to lay out to it. Get a seat for that thing, or I could get a table of 10 for $750.
No discount, huh? No
That doesn't
scale.
sound like a deal.
It's the same price.
Not a single penny difference, Case, 1 or 10. I'm going to kind of see if I can work some back angles and go down some dark alleys and stuff and see if I can maybe get a media pass to go attend this thing.
Sounds like you need to call your friends from Conway.
That's right. I could offer drugs and prostitution in order to go, and that would be fun. No, for them, maybe not me. I'd like to attend, but I just there's the penny pinching Paul here who says, I don't know if I want to put out $75 for 2.5 hours of yada yada yada. If I can get a discount or if I can get the media pass to go, though, I'd happily attend. I mean, I'd even pass on the meal if they wanted me to. I'd be that anxious to go. But reception at 6, dinner at 7 if you want to go. The induction ceremony will follow with dinner, which I'm not sure what that means. Usually 8 o'clock, but some people eat faster than others, and they're ready to go at 7:10. But time for you all to go eat it. Hey, it's lunchtime. What are you doing still listening to us? Uh, certainly want you to have a great rest of the weekend. And like we say to end the close, go Cards.